Right, I've made some improvements to this stove, and I've drilled some more holes in the bottom. Rob Mackenzie suggested that I did that, but I'd already done it. But it was a good suggestion, definitely. And Wacky George, the bus pass camper, now he said he wouldn't like to carry it about, but this is for George. In here, George, is everything you need for a fire. If you take some of this tape over here, put it round the holes, put the lid on, you can carry that, leave it anywhere, you know. And also Pete, Maverick Outdoors, he said about burying stuff. Well, if you took that somewhere and buried it, bit of tape in a plastic bag, and just buried it in a hole, you could come along, mark that with your food, and you've got something to cook it on, just in case you're bugging out. But that's in dire states, but can be done. And you've got all the equipment you need inside for a fire. And also Stoney Broke, he was the first man to comment, and he come up with it and got it right, I think. Make the holes bigger at the top. Only had small holes like gas jets. I thought that would aid like pressure, but you don't want any pressure in this. It's completely an alien concept of making a fire, I think. But also, this stays really, really warm when it's burnt down for a long time. It radiates heat because, I suppose, because of the air gap round it, it actually radiates heat. So if you put that in the corner of your tent, like out of the way, so that it didn't burn anything, there'd be no flames coming out of it. It would just be hot, like I don't know, like a convector. And it probably, if you held it like close, if you brought it close to you, it's give off quite a comfortable amount of heat, and quite safely as well. But that's got to be looked into by a better person than me, because, as I say, I don't camp anymore. But the equipment and ideas and that, I love engineering and I love making stuff, and that shows. But yeah, I'm going to light it, and as I say, George, you can carry it. Look, mate, all self-contained, and it's not heavy. It might look a monster, I don't know. It's a funny thing about when you make videos, some of the things look really, really, you know, heavy and weight. There's no weight in that at all. That's got a fire. There's the makings of a fire in it. It only weighs about half a pound at the most, with all that stuff in it. So maybe 3/4 of a pound. But as I say, there you are, and you could conceal that somewhere if you was that way inclined, with some food, and you'd have something to cook it on for sure. There you can see it's Gassifier now. I'm going to put a kettle of water on here. I'm going to film me video me watch, sorry, and it's just gone 2:45. So I'm going to place the kettle on there now, and hopefully it will boil. As you can see, if I can get it down there, it's a bit smoky, but yeah, it's still flaming. But see what happens. Some of the wood I put in here, because I'm doing this in my back garden, so it's quite hard to scavenge wood from anywhere, is a bit green. So I put some dry wood and green wood in there. It's still, you can still see the flames at the side. It's not gone out. There they go, they're licking on the sides now. And it's quite, the burn is quite intense. Putting the larger holes at the top and more at the bottom was definitely a good idea. But when you're making something like this, you've got to adhere to principles like you can't take holes out. You can only put them in, and you can't make them smaller once they're bigger. So you've got to be careful, you know. I do want to use this, and I know I'm quite glib about it sometimes. I do like to get it right, and I think I've got it right now. Right, there's a rolling boiler there. You see the steam coming out of the kettle, and you can probably hear it. And it's been just 15 minutes. And there's 3 cups of water in that kettle. And you can see the steam coming out of it. And on the spout, you can see the steam coming out of that. That's not smoke, that's steam. And you can see it boiling inside as well, rolling boil, in just 15 minutes, 3 cups of water. I'm going to tip it out onto the ground so you can see how hot that is. And that is hot. So, and there's the way she's burning. Once it burns down, you get that a little bit coming out. I stood a lot of sticks up so that it would I think it is gassifying. It's not as gassifying as much as it was, but it is now. And you can see the way that the ashes at the bottom act like charcoal once they've burnt away, and they still give off a lot of heat. And what I'm going to try and do now is get my frying pan and fry some egg and bacon on the residue of this. So I'll be back in a minute. And there is my breakfast cooking, bacon and eggs, and you can't get any better than that. Nice. I kind of like it, not burnt but crispy-ish, and that's doing it rather well. The egg will take another couple of minutes, but that'll be it. Can't get better than that, can you? Here's my bacon and egg, and there is what's left of the stuff that we put in it. It burns stuff really, really quickly. I think in America they use pellets in this, wooden pellets. I'll have to look that up, I'm not sure, but I'm sure someone out there will know about it. If you do, just drop us a line. But yeah, and that will stay hot for a long time, like radiating heat, for about another 30 minutes. So anyway, that's my second film about this, with the improvements and the trivet on the top. You can see the trivet and the air holes and the clearance and more air holes around the bottom. And thanks to the people that suggested little tweaks, and all of them have been used, so thank you very much, and it does work a lot better. I'm going to video the aftermath of all this that we've been doing, the cooking and everything else, and the bacon and eggs. At the bottom there, this burns down so finely, it's just like powder, literally. It really is. It's just, you know, it's just and the amount that went into this cooker, half a hedge went into this cooker, and it's still burnt it away. Really efficient at burning. I'm going to show you some of the things that in my first video I was so pleased to get it together. I should have waited and thought it out, but it didn't have this, which is the top trivet, which fits in there quite snugly, goes down, and then the holes have been made larger and now there's more holes around the bottom, and a bit of bleed through with the flame, but I can fix that, and it is super efficient. Look at that in there, it's just dust. Later on today I'm going to try and I think there's a little bit too much air getting in at the bottom there on the inner sleeve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this in there. If I turn this around, it lines up with the holes at the bottom, and I can shut some of them off like a regulator and see what happens to the burn after that. But I'm satisfied with the burn. The burn is great. It's just the fuel in it is, I think the pieces have got to be larger and be on the bottom for it to work efficiently with the fuel. As a cooker, it works great. The Gassifier works really well, and I can't fault it, but the fuel that I'm using is not adequate enough. If I was in the woods and I could get great big lumps and chip it up into little bits and fill it halfway up, then the stove would be working absolutely brilliantly. But as it is, I'm using some of my hedge and stuff, and it's still damp and it's not burning properly. But I used a bit of old pine dyad, and it burnt really well, and that's the burn that I filmed. So I know that it's not the design of it, it's not how many holes and vents are in it now, it's just the right type of fuel. The rest of it I'm really happy with. It stores away quite nicely. As I say, I can fix the burn problem around the sides here by using this as a regulator, and this is a separate piece. These would go in a plastic bag together, and they fit inside each other like so. So that's not a problem, and all in all I'm really happy with it, and I'm going to see if that works with another burn, but I'm going to go out and get some proper fuel for it and really think. But it does, as you saw, that dust in the bottom, that was like a lot of fuel, but the right fuel in this, and I know that it's going to go crazy. 0 pence. Thanks for watching.